Howdy everyone, thanks for watching as I go through direct composting the trench method. First I'm removing my cattle panel bird netting. I have a video on my channel on this and you can check it out if you need to keep the birds off your strawberries. I just took a single cattle panel, I cut it in half, made an arch and added the netting. It worked out really well. Now I'll temporarily move my drip line out of the way. You can see my dead strawberry plants. They've already produced, and now I'll dig a trench down half the row. Pulling up the strawberry plant, shake out the soil, and I'll add those roots to the trench compost at the end. Clean it up a little, hand dig the trench to make it even and smooth. Now I'll start to add the compost materials. These are the rinds from watermelon, cantaloupe, banana peels, and other vegetable scraps. I stick mostly to just fruit and vegetable items. Now I'll extend the trench a little further on the left. To save up scraps through the week, I just use a large plastic bag and I keep it in the freezer. This keeps the scraps from making a mess, and instead of trying to keep them in a bucket that might attract fruit flies. And it's simple to add items throughout the week to the bag in the freezer. Normally I do 2 parts brown with 1 part green. Browns are brown leaves, shredded paper, twigs, wood chips, etc. Greens are vegetable and fruit scraps, green grass clippings. Now I'll finish adding in the scraps. Here's a closer look. Now I'll add some dried out grass clippings over the top. This helps to fill in the space and help hide the smell of the fruit so animals are less likely to come dig them up. I've never had that happen when I direct compost, but I have had them eat fruit right off my trellis during a drought, as you can see in the video, but not very often. Add that strawberry plant and the roots back in. And begin to cover the soil back over the top. There's something satisfying about adding nutrients back to the soil. Keep covering it up. Clean it up a little. Pull a weed or two while I'm there. And that's it. I try to do this at the end of the growing season after all the strawberries have been harvested. This gives the compost a full 6 to 8 months to break down and decompose before I repopulate my strawberry patch next spring using ones I propagated earlier from runners. If you're interested or you're already growing strawberries and want more, then I have a video on my channel that will show you how to easily produce more plants using strawberry runners. I'll put a link in the video description below. In addition to direct and trench composting, I also like to use composting bins in order to create a larger amount of compost and then use it throughout my garden each year. Here's how I did that using free pallets. I called a few stores and asked if they had any pallets they weren't using, and 2 said yes. So here I am. I picked up the pallets and I'm setting them up in an area to assemble some compost bins. I had some leftover wood screws from a previous project, so I'll use those to connect the pallets. I got just enough pallets to make a simple 3-bin system. Here's what it looks like. I'm using 16 gauge wire to connect the front door pallets so I can easily remove them when needed. Take a small piece and twist tie the corners. You can make it more secure and add a latch, but I chose simplicity and low to no cost by using leftover materials, and it's worked out well for me. I add materials to the compost all through the year, starting with grass clippings, and I also get a lot of free shredded paper from various places. Here we are a month or two later, and you can see the levels. I add fruit and vegetable scraps, brown leaves, and other materials whenever I have them. The bottom level's looking good. You can mix and flip your compost often, but I keep it simple and I just do this every few months or whenever I think about it. Be sure to stay until the end of the video to see the finished compost after several months. Now I'll just put it all back in reverse, starting with the top going on the bottom of the pile, and then the bottom is on the top. As it decomposes, I'll start to flip it over into the next bin in the middle. Here's a look at the mixed and flipped compost. Here we are later in the year, and I'm mixing it and flipping it over into the next bin. You can see it's starting to look like good compost. Next, I'll show you my last bin with all the finished compost. Here's my third bin with all the compost ready for use. Those leaves you see on the top are just the ones that fell in from the tree above. That looks great. There is a good amount of free compost in there now. Leave me a comment below and tell me if you do any direct composting and what you're growing in your garden. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe.